Started really with an interest in health and solving the problems in health, but you've transitioned more to business now.
Yeah.
What made you look at business or to help business and do business mentoring?
Yeah. So the interesting thing, again, it was all happenstance. I'd like to say that I had a grand master plan that I rolled out from the age of 8, but I swear I just made it up as I went along, which I think most of us do, but we kid ourselves into thinking that we had it all sorted out. And definitely in our teenage years. For me, when I did my research in my doctorate, there wasn't any research in the healthcare field in or interorganizational partnerships. It didn't exist. So I actually had to go to the business field where they had a whole theory, a series of research in the area of interorganizational partnerships. And so that was where I got all of my research from, and I actually applied it to healthcare.
Yeah.
And so after I felt that my contributions were not maybe complete, but they were, that I felt that I learned what I could from the health system, I started to ask the question, again, I didn't want to just make a difference in healthcare. I wanted to be able to make a difference in multiple human issues. And so I started to think, can I apply the principles that I was developing in healthcare in business? Can I do it in nonprofits and for-profits? Can I do it in public companies and private companies? Can I do it with families? Can I do it with foundations and charities and educational institutions and policy and government? And so I really just went on a tour, if you will, a world tour of different sectors and different industries to see, did the principles that we were creating, so we created a philosophy called value-based partnering, and the principles that we were identifying, did they apply in multiple sectors and industries? Because what I'm on a quest for is understanding what are the universal principles, what's the overarching philosophy, what are the universal principles that could be applied to anybody, anywhere, anytime, any partnership. So trying to distill through all of the complexity right down to the fundamental basics, the 101 of partnering. And that was my mission. And each project that we've worked on has given us an opportunity to look at multi-partner initiatives, cross-sector partnerships, networked organizations, strategic alliances, joint ventures, mergers and acquisitions, all of these different titles that we put on the partnering relationships has given us an opportunity to experiment and to figure out, do the principles hold true? And which ones, did we have to refine? Which ones did we have to let go? And which ones stand the test of time? Because for me, that's what I'm hoping that in my lifetime that I'll be able to leave for other people to come along, are those principles that stand the test of time, that help us solve bigger problems in any industry, regardless of the complexity of the issues that we face. Because I don't know about you guys, but for me, I don't think life is getting any easier. I don't think that our issues are getting less complex. I think they are just getting bigger, and we have to have a new level of thinking to solve those problems.
That's right. And those issues of pressure that business owners are facing, I want to get to in a few minutes. But I know you're a highly recognised international speaker. You're in the International Speakers Association.
The Global Speaker Federation.
Yes. Yep. And you deal with all sized companies and countries, a list of countries as long as you are. So you could spend all your time in Canada and North America and travelling. So why come down to the bottom of the world, to little old Christchurch, where there's about 400,000 people? What brings you here? Why are you compelled to be down here and sharing your insights with us?
So, okay, I'm going to tell you exactly how the journey happened, because again, it's by divine design. Like I couldn't have guessed it, but I met a guy in university during my undergrad, and it was his idea to go abroad, and I figured out that I could go and do a semester of school. So I did a semester at Victoria University Footscray campus in Melbourne, Australia. I spent a semester overseas in Australia, and then I did the rite of passage in my early 20s where I traveled. I lived in a car with my boyfriend at the time, and we traveled all over Australia and all over New Zealand. And I spent a month in New Zealand, and I absolutely loved it. So at its core, for me, coming back to New Zealand and being of service to this country and working in Australia really comes from the fact that at a formidable time in my life, that this country made an impact on me. I love the people, I love the culture, I love the food, I love the scenery, I love that you don't have all deadly things that try to kill you in the nighttime like Australia does. And I just felt a heart tug. And it took me 18 years. So I was here for a year, and then I went, back home to Canada. It took me 18 years to come back. It was a conference at the Global Speakers Federation that called me back. It was a conversation on how do you move from leader to legacy. And it felt like a very fitting reunion to a country that I love. I do think I was meant to be a Kiwi. I think the stork dropped me off in the wrong country because I'm a Canadian that doesn't like the cold. I can't ski, I can't play hockey, and I don't speak French, and I'm a French Canadian. So I'm pretty sure that I was meant to be in another country. And if I had to guess, it would probably be somewhere between Australia and New Zealand. So I come here because I love it. I love the people. And I think that we have a lot to learn. I think that New Zealand is a leader in many areas that the rest of the world could learn from. And so my hope is that being here, one, I can contribute to the goals of the country. And two, I'm hoping that I can help tell the rest of the world about the amazing things that New Zealand is doing so that we can have sort of a knowledge exchange.
That's interesting. Well, I'm glad you love it here so much because we get to hear all your insights.